This is like episode 50 some odd. We had episode 52. So we celebrate 50. Jubilee. 2 episodes ago. Tonight's gonna be good. I need you to buckle up, charge your phone, put this in the group thread, share it, clip it up, do all the things with it.
Like and follow if you haven't already.
That's right. Subscribe. I think we're 500, close to 600. You need to touch your neighbor and help us to get to 600 subscribers.
We'll do the celebration with the inflatable balloons when we get to 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do the
trying to make 100. So this has been good. Kevin Hart says that if you decide to do a podcast, this was years ago, you should commit to 50 episodes. Many days.
12.
All right. So shout out to our videographer, editor extraordinaire, Marcus. He's behind the scenes holding it down. So
he makes us look good on screen.
Makes us look good. I mean, we just show up, put some lotion on, make sure our notes are together. So tonight, any updates? Anything you want to share? Anything you learned this week?
Ooh, any updates? Honestly, I feel like just being present has become vitally important to me.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And taking it a day at a time.
What's something that you used to believe that you no longer believe?
I used to believe that everything had to be perfected.
All right. You learned that
life is life and nothing is perfect.
Nothing is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I asked that question. I've been asking that question all week.
What's your answer?
Ooh, what area?
You choose.
What's one thing that I used to believe? There's a lot.
What comes top of mind?
Top of mind. I can't say that one. Top of mind. That God was Christian. God was male and that God was Christian.
DM us if you have further questions because that'll take up the whole episode.
So, yeah, that really, I used to believe that God was, and it wasn't. I have learned that God is extremely bigger than what I used to believe.
That's right.
And and what we believe now is still not all, cannot encapsulate all of what. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that God was Christian and that God was in heaven Jesus was sitting on the right hand in a high back chair.
Let me simplify his definition for the people that are concerned, that are watching. Christian means follower of Christ, so Christ couldn't follow himself. All right, do the homework, and we're moving on.
What? Okay, so
that's what Christian is a follower of Christ. He was Christ. How he gonna follow himself? I'm gonna walk in a circle. Okay,
so when they told me God is in heaven, sitting high, looking low, I thought that God was sitting in a high back chair, looking down on all the stuff that.
Some of the imagery that has been presented over the years would feed that thought process.
Absolutely. So you cannot omit the high back chair part to it. Anyway, so tonight we got a good episode for you. We have some points, but I don't know if we're going to get to all of them. Okay. We're talking about routes.
Okay.
I was scrolling the other day and I had a conversation with a friend of mine that's out of state, and he made a statement in reference to his marriage, and this word routes popped up in my head as I was talking to him. There's a guy on TikTok, shout out to Damian Brown. Marcus would tag him in the show notes. Okay. But he's on TikTok. He is Marvin Winans' organist. Okay. And he is an organ approach coach. So his platform is geared toward covering popular gospel songs on keyboard or organ, and showing you a different route to get to your destination in the song. So he'll take a standard song and he'll play it out of the box, and he'll show you a different way to arrive at the pinpoint markings of the song. So anyway, why that's important for our conversation tonight is I said this, that your route that you took to end up loving me. And the route that I took to end up saying, I love you were two completely different routes.
Absolutely.
The person that you're in love with, the person that you have been in love with, you took a route to end up to the place where you said, you know what? I rock with you.
That's true.
What we're going to discuss tonight is understanding those routes.
Okay.
Some of the things that were on those routes.
Okay.
And understanding each other's route.
Okay.
The point of this conversation tonight is to realize, because I think that we get sometimes in our relationships, we don't understand what the other is saying.
Yeah.
And where they're coming from. So something can happen with you and I assess it from my route and say, that's not nothing to be upset about. That's nothing to be, that's nothing to
through your lens. It looks different. Lens. Yeah.
And vice versa.
Right.
But when we understand the route,
how the route affects our vision.
All right. That's all I'm telling you. Okay. So the lens, the route, the perspective, right. It's a play on words, but I think that understanding your own route.
Exactly.
And understanding that other individuals' route is essential. There's a lot of wisdom in there.
Absolutely.
And you can avoid some unnecessary arguments, some unnecessary tension by simply understanding the route.
I agree.
Okay. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Well, and then let me say this, not only understanding the route, but empathizing with that person's route and how it shapes who they became.
Okay. How did you, in whatever way you want to articulate it, how did you come to love me?
How did I come to love you? Okay, so God had a lot to do with me loving you. And I know he gonna look like that, but seriously, I was anti-church, boys, men, teens, whatever. I did not fool with church people like that. Although I did attend church every Sunday for the critical people that will watch. I have always been a people watcher, and people just seemed very disingenuous in the church. And I was like, if I want somebody to lie or fake, I can just get a regular person in the world. I don't need a church person. That was my thought. So I had a really, really toxic relationship with a drug dealer prior to dating my husband and marrying him. And I feel like that beat something out of me that really needed to be out of me. So it sounds crazy, but it broke like a level of stubbornness, and I'm going to go against the system that I had vowed to live by my whole life until I realized firsthand the consequences that can come with taking that stance and everything. And so I was in a very vulnerable and pliable season of my life, and God really began to challenge me on a lot of things concerning me and how I saw things and how I engage with people. Because prior to him, I like to play with people. So I would get with a dude and everything would be seeming like it was fine. And I would just wake up one morning and be like, oh, I don't want to be with you no more. And my mom would be like, why you always be breaking up with people like that? Man, Savannah. And I just said, I just believe if it's meant for me, it'll come full circle. So I'm not tripping. It's all right. It's more men out there. And she'd be like, oh my God. Like, but that was my view on a lot of things. So God really helped me with those things really, really intensely, probably for 6 to 8 months before we went on our first date. So when we started like hanging out and spending time together and talking, it was just kind of like, he seemed real different. Like he listening, you know, he ain't just trying to jump in my pants. Now he wanted to jump in my pants, but he wasn't being like inappropriate. He wasn't like trying to like wiggle his way in or find a way. He just was literally like being open and honest about who and what he was and the things that he enjoyed. If I wanted to talk about something, he was actively listening. And I was like, this is different. This is new. Maybe I'll give him a real chance.
I remember those days.
And not just a surface chance. And we were so young that it was just so pure. I mean, like we would watch movies and play the Wii or go out on dates. And it just was so innocent and pure. And that was not something that I was used to experiencing from men. I was used to men trying to work their own agenda or abuse me or mishandle me or, you know, just try to have their own way. So it was very refreshing to come across somebody who lived by standards internally that were restraining him from mishandling me. And the fact that he was willing to like listen to what was going on with me also just like birthed a level of respect and adoration. So I left his apartment one day and I'll never forget it. I mean, he had like a shotgun apartment, just efficiency. But it was his and he kept it clean and took care of it and did all of those things. So for me, that gave him brownie points, number one. But number two, I remember leaving and God saying, that's your husband. I'm like, okay, that is so cliche. Like, okay, yeah, he's my husband. Like that was my own internal. And I was just like, why? That was really my first question. Cause I'm like 21 and I'm thinking, and you know what God reminded me of with my crazy behind? I remember hanging out with my friends almost a year to the day that God said that to me, sitting on the porch, tipsy. And I was like, y'all, you know what? I'm going to get married next year and start having kids and just have a little family. And everybody paused like, you what, girl? You like independent to your core. Are you serious?
Watch yourself.
And I said, when that memory flashed, I said, it's crazy how sometimes being intoxicated can be a truth serum to what's really on the inside of your heart. And I was like, okay, well, is that something I want? Is that something I desire? Has fear kept me encapsulated so long that I haven't even given it a chance?
That's good.
So I was like, okay, well, Lord, we're going to see. That was like my answer. So we just kind of kept courting, kept talking. But what's crazy is when he asked me to marry him, I said yes without hesitation. And it felt right. I felt so much peace about it that it didn't make me, you know, waver or second guess at all. And y'all, we dated for like 2.5, 3 months before we got married. But there was a piece that I hadn't experienced with anyone else that I had ever dated. And so I was just like, okay, well, this feels right. So I'm going with it and I'm just going to trust what God said. And here we are, almost 19 years later. His route is very, very different.
Very different. You had to watch previous episodes to hear my route. In very short, because I don't want to forget what you said.
Oh, okay.
I want to miss what you said and then you can ask me in my mind.
Okay.
I heard a level of unsurety of the future. Mm-hmm. Something different.
Yeah.
You jumping, taking a risk. I heard you say about your ex.
Yeah.
And the lifestyle that he lived and all that comes with that.
Yeah.
And the unsafety, the risk associated with that.
Yeah.
I asked you about your route because in our relationship, and I'm sure with yours at some point to some degree, that the mindset that we had in the inception of our relationship is there in the beginning. I think that for some couples, we don't progress from the original settings of the inception of our relationship. And as we evolve, that's why I asked the question earlier, what's something that you used to believe that you don't believe anymore? As we evolve, we've been together going on 19 years. You've evolved. I've evolved. I think that the default setting that we initially got with each other in comes up. So if you were the one if I rescued you out of a burning building, if I was your knight in shining armor, I want you to speak to this.
Okay.
We've seen it and we've done it. If I rescued you out of a burning house when we got together, and in your mind, I am your rescuer and you are the rescuee.
Okay.
when we move 19 years later and there is no burning house, and I'm tired of being the rescuer and you don't want to be the rescuee anymore. This is the point of our relationships that we will come to at some point in time where we've got to investigate and reevaluate. What do we have? So I want you to speak to that. Have you ever either sat with a couple or us ourselves where we had to assess, how is this going and do we need to make any changes?
Absolutely. Several times have we had to do that. I mean, if you're not doing that, then I question if you are living in truth in your relationship, because I'm not the same person. You're not the same person. We have gone through several seasons that were extremely hard, and not always because of internal things. A lot of the things were out of our control. Like before our first year anniversary, we buried our first child. Like crazy things popped up and happened that we weren't like braced for, prepared for, ready for. And you're talking about, I mean, I was 22 at the time, you were 23. Who is prepared for that? Who is prepared to put an infant in the ground? Nobody. Not even somebody who's established, not even somebody who, you know, has gone through all the steps. But you're talking about two people that are barely adults trying to process through that in real time. And then right after that, like 2-3 months later, we got custody of his sister. So we went through so many things that requested so much of us so quickly that if we were not willing to continue to come revisit, okay, I know you said this is what you need, but is it still what you need? Yeah. Or I know this is what you said you like, but is this what you still like? There's no way this marriage would have continued in the way that it is now.
So let's talk about that. Those assessments, we're talking about routes tonight. What did we experience? What did I encounter? What did you encounter on the road to meeting each other? Right. Because I think that we both, in every relationship, we both cry.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not talking about necessarily right now with tears, but there is something that we communicate in pain, in yearning, that we need and want. That we may not always have the accurate vocabulary to convey it.
Yeah.
So understanding your route that you came up, who raised you, how you were raised, what was there, what wasn't there. It has a lot to do with the version of you that says, I will not put up with this.
That is true.
When we understand each other's routes, we can understand why the other person says, I'm not going there with you.
Yeah.
I'm only going to tolerate so much, or the toleration of bull. So I think that for you as an individual, this is not for your partner. This is not for your spouse. Investigate your attachment style. Investigate why your attachment style is what it is, because I think that is important to understanding your route.
Right.
If you were deprived of time, then it's fair to say that quality time is going to be somewhere in your wheelhouse of a need that I gotta have.
Absolutely.
And I think that when we don't understand each other's routes, we can say, I need quality time. But that if that other person doesn't understand your route and why quality time is something that you yearn for,
Lord have mercy.
we could just be saying things and it falling on deaf ears. But if I understand your route, if I understand that you didn't get it from your father, if I understand that you didn't get it in your environment, your home environment, then I can empathize.
Right.
You know what? I know what it feels like to not have that and want it and need it.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What were you going to ask me about what my route was?
Yeah.
To how I think all of us share a common thread of hardship on some level, to some degree. I'm no different from that. I grew up in a single parent household and my father was not present for a large majority of my life. I think he left. My mother and my father divorced I was probably 8 or so. And so after that, he left and our relationship was severed. And I think that women, I used replacement therapy.
Y'all listening? Mm-hmm. Come on.
I used music and preoccupied my time and my attention. I poured it into music and women.
Multiple women.
Mm-hmm. So my dating relationships, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, they were very, 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 very deep to me because they weren't just casual girlfriend relationships. These women were temporarily filling a hole in my heart that I felt was ripped out of me when my father left. So,
and each woman represented a different piece that he wanted.
Come on, you better know your man. So the deterioration and the breakups of those relationships really set me back. I was raised by predominantly women. My mother has 7 sisters. And so I assessed them with my bias and made conclusions about women in general. I made conclusions about my mother in general as a strong Black single mother that held it down. Because of my lens of pain from the absence of my father, I blamed her and those women who I assessed and some of those girlfriends that I assessed. And so I loved women, but also hated them at the same time.
Come on and talk here, sir.
So when I meet you, the booty is fine. I can't hear nobody. The shape is You had the Uchi wallet. You were extremely fine to me externally, but I had no emotional intelligence on how to engage with a woman because I had not addressed the pain that had been encountered, the pain that was done by the previous women and my father. So when I arrived at loving you, it was slower than yours. It was not love at first sight. He was lust at first sight. God bless you. I was in love when we got married. So she just knew that she loved me and had a deep capacity to love. Yeah. We got to talk about that one second. Yes. You had a deep capacity to love. My capacity to love is large, but it's wired differently. I have a long fuse. I need to watch you. So it wasn't no God told me this is your wife and you just I needed to watch you when you sleep. I need to stand over you and look. I need to make sure. Loving, although I've been through a lot of trauma, is very easy for me. It can pour like water. Come on now. You on the other hand, I'm logic. He's like, what do they call that dam in Nevada? Hoover Dam. Yeah, he like the Hoover Dam, and they be keeping the gates up. Yeah, he like that until the appointed time. That's good, and then he'll gradually lower it. So let's bring this home. My route, right? Although we both arrived at love, the routes are completely different. Absolutely. Your experience, my experience. So when we get into it and I shut down, or when we get into it and you need to get it out, looking from my lens to yours, I'm saying, you need to shut up. You doing too much. You looking from your lens or your route. Say something. Why ain't you saying nothing? But when we understand and keep in mind the history of what has shaped why an individual's knee-jerk reaction is to shut down, why an individual's knee-jerk reaction is to get it out, we can have more compassion for the other to move through the hard seasons where it may be difficult. But I think that the route, understanding and remembering. So let's say if I was deprived of affirmation. Okay. There was a lack of affirmation, which there was growing up from my father. Then your words go deep. Mm-hmm. They mean a lot because that area is an area that was traumatized. Mm-hmm. So when we understand not just what a person needs, this is my last statement, but why I need what I need.
Absolutely.
We can move the needle forward.
Absolutely.
What you think?
I think that's true. I mean, like for me, I didn't think marriage was safe. So his reassurance reminded me, okay, what you've seen prior to this may have not been safe, but what you are currently in is safe.
Okay, let's deal with this last piece. If my ego, if my pride, if I have a self-image issue, mm-hmm. if me being married to you strokes my ego, mm-hmm. and you say one day, I want to leave, mm-hmm. do I want you to stay because I love you? Or do I want you to stay because you being on my arm is attached to my esteem and my visual presentation to those who are around?
So do I care more about what people think versus what I actually desire?
Now,
that's what I hear you saying.
That could be a reality for some couples.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Most definitely.
One of my friends made a comment on one of our videos as a question and asked, have you ever ran into or sat with a couple where one person said, I love you, mm-hmm. and the other person says, but I don't know it. I'm telling you that I love you from my route.
Ooh.
Brittany, I love you. And I'm loving you based on what I have. Mm-hmm. If she can say in honesty, mm-hmm. I don't know if John loves me. Mm-hmm. Houston, Dallas, Waco, Corpus Christi, Corsicana, San Antonio, Austin, all the Texases. We got a problem.
Yeah.
So.
And that's possible. And that's present in a lot of relationships.
It's present.
Yeah.
So like our children aren't adults yet.
Right.
And what we're building and how we're building is to ensure that when our responsibility to make sure that they grow up in a healthy household, mm-hmm. when they leave the house, if that be our situation, some couples divorce before the children leave the house, but our goal is to try to hold it together, not just for them, but to hold it together because we want to work it out.
Yeah.
If we are holding it together and the only glue that we have are the children, when the children leave, we ain't got nothing. Mm-mm. So it is imperative.
That's the wrong reason to stay in a relationship.
Come on. So it is imperative.
And I hate to have to like keep saying this.
You gonna jump on the soapbox?
I am. Okay, here it goes. If you are in a relationship or a marriage simply because you have procreated with that individual, that is not okay. And here's the thing that I would love for people to remember. You are teaching those children without words that it is okay to stay in a relationship with someone that you don't like, with someone who may not be treating you right, who may not be loving you right for the sake of kids. And our children imitate us as adults. Like, think about the things you swore you would never do. Oh, I don't ever want to do that. My mama. And then you find yourself doing it. And you may catch yourself in real time and be like, oh my God, I need to fix that. But you still find yourself doing that. So if you are staying in a relationship simply because you have a child with somebody, you need to really do some soul searching and ask yourself why, because that's not healthy. And you're not giving that child a healthy example anyway.
Now, to that point, our homework assignment for those of you who will
do it,
listen to it, that it resonates with you, it really investigate your attachment style. Because your attachment style will indicate to you why you yearn for what you yearn for, why your baseline emotionally is your baseline, and why you respond and react the way that you do.
That's
it has
so true.
Everything to do with what you did or did not receive in your formative years.
Right.
So this is the whole point to tonight, and you spoke to it. what you did not receive as a child when you were reaching for whatever it is that you needed as a child in your formative years.
Right.
If that is not understood, if that is not addressed, if that is not investigated, you will constantly be reaching for that and not know what the origin of it is. If you don't know what it is, you're not going to be able to articulate it to the person that you're with.
That's right.
I'm clingy. I know I'm clingy. This is why I'm clingy. Something happened to me in my last relationship and it broke my trust. I'm in therapy for it, but I need you to answer that phone when I call.
But honestly, I feel like it goes way further than relationships.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, I can trace it all the way back to infancy. I was so clingy as a baby. Like my mom was like, if I was not in your line of sight, you was crying until you could see me again.
Now, don't forget that, because that is key. That cry, I'm telling y'all as her 19-year husband, this is so good.
Yeah.
That cry still has a why.
Oh, not a why.
That cry. Now it's not, it used to be unhealthy. It used to be toxic. It used to get on my nerves.
Yeah.
It used to nag me and irritate me. She used to be that wife that if I was out with the fellas, she'd be sending before they even had emojis, but the thing come out of their nose. I would leave the house. This is so good. I would leave the house and hang. My brothers who are also married, wasn't no single shit going on. It was all married men hanging out, trying to hold it down at home. And she would text me back, how long are you going to be gone? How long y'all going to be out? What time you think you're going to be? I don't know. Well, give me we thought about this and I would shout out 10 p.m. and 10:01 would roll around and she would send the dot, like you said, and then she would call me, are you on your way? And then, I'm about to get fired up. I would say, we're still here, we're kicking it, we're just having a good time. We at Milligan's, we at the bar, we're Cigar Lounge, wherever we was at. Where you said you was going to leave at 10. But you're not. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I was, are you calling me a liar?
Yeah.
So I'm lying now.
Yes.
So I was in a catch-22 in this stage where your attachment style was understood.
Right.
Then she was pissing me off.
And why was my attachment style understood? Why was that flaring up? Because were you available?
No.
Okay, well then, come on, you gotta say it out. Say it out. He gonna try to act like, yeah, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is
what he's saying is that his wife was in a deficit because she was not getting attention.
Come on now.
Because seriously, our life at that time, his time was always consumed. And we lost a child the first year of our marriage. We had our second child the second year of our marriage. I think I was pregnant with our third child at the time. And I'm like, okay, you keep knocking me up and you want me to do life by myself? What?
You hanging out with the guys.
Yeah, I want to go hang out.
Now,
I got babies throwing up on me, peeing on me, pooping on me, and you talking about.
Now let me sew it up.
Yeah.
Come on now. You want to bring it to the healing story.
Okay, come on. Mr. Full Disclosure, yeah.
You weren't supposed to ride on that part. Now, there's an awareness on both ends.
Absolutely.
There's an understanding on both ends. And there is an acknowledgement.
Absolutely.
That I know what you need.
Yeah.
I know why you need what you need.
Yes.
So when there is a deficit of that quality time, it doesn't come out on her end toxic.
Right. I simply say, I'm really in a deficit. We need some time.
Now, ain't that sweet? 19 years in the game. Now, we late bloomers. It took us a minute. But in year 4, in year 5, that same, it's the same cry, but it's communicated differently.
That's right.
It's received differently.
Yeah.
Same cry. It's the same cry. It's the same route.
Yes.
But it's a different way to get there.
Yeah.
Same need. The need is still legitimate. Mm-hmm. If we go too long without a date night, if we go too long without reconnecting, if we go too long without it just being us, if we go too long without it being uninterrupted you and me time in a healthy way, she gonna let me know, or I'm gonna let her know, listen, hey, it's been a while. So we're talking, that's a route.
That's right.
Same destination. Mm-hmm. It still ends up, I miss you.
Yeah.
But the way we get to I miss you can be toxic.
Yeah.
And I think that the reason why I'm calling it toxic, then what you asked me, the reason why I'm calling it toxic is because initially I don't think, you speak to did you know why you were saying what you were saying beyond the surface of the kids are at home?
I did not know the origin or how deep it went.
All right.
In that season.
All right.
I just knew I was overwhelmed and exhausted and in a deficit. And I was like, oh, you ain't about to be out having fun when I got all of these things working. Yeah.
And I felt, and I think that couples, please hear this. I think that we both feel it, whatever it is, that thing, that little you felt to come out. You have to come out when she went back to that year. She, well, you ain't gonna be leaving. We both feel it.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
What you do with it, how you handle it, how you assess it.
Absolutely. That
matters. How you manage it. Mm-hmm. It can be an argument or it can be a discussion.
That's right.
It can be guns blazing. It can be a burning house, or it can be a conversation depending on the maturity level.
That's right.
Of the individuals involved.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Find you a good therapist. Find you a good therapist.
A real good one, y'all.
Find you a real good therapist.
And if your therapist don't fit, find another one.
And your pastor is good, but this stuff we talking about, you ain't gonna be able to pray it off.
Find a therapist.
This ain't run 3 laps around. This ain't offering ain't gonna cut this.
Being slain in the spirit ain't gonna fix it.
Come on now, you
go sit on somebody's couch and talk it out.
Stuff through with a professional.
That's right.
And take your medicine.
If you need it, please pop your pill.
Take your medicine. Take your medicine. I ain't gonna tell you about this story about my friend. So,
oh God,
are we clear on that? I love what you said. Mm-hmm. Same cry, different administration, same song, different verse,
right? Well, yeah,
same cry,
right?
Now I understand it. Now I have room to give it compassion,
right?
Now I have the capacity to come outside of my world and put myself in your shoes and say, okay, now then. Young 20s, you'll be all right. Let them kids throw up on you. You they mom.
And that's really what he believed.
Really? Because in my mind...
Now he came home long enough to get a home-cooked meal, to shower, put on some fresh, clean clothes, all of which I had prepared, and then was out.
You feel that little tick? You feel that little...
No, you feel it.
That little bite.
Because you remember that season. You feel it because you remember that season.
Now, if we were young in the game, when these cameras come out, what the hell was that all about? Don't put that shit on the cameras. Yeah. But...
these are things we have talked about and worked through. So although we bring them up and although we can remember what we felt like...
and you can feel it too.
It's not a present, active feeling or emotion.
Okay, I forgot the question I asked you. Oh, same cry.
Same cry.
What did I ask you?
You made a statement. But I do think that what you said is very true, that it is the same cry, but it's just showing up in different ways. So when you are not clear of the origin of your pain or what caused it, then your behavior, you take ownership of it. Like, oh, it's just me. You got to accept me. Yeah. Why you don't like me? And it's like, no, it's not that they don't like you. They don't like the behavior. Ooh. And I mean, truthfully, I had really disassociated from the core of who I was because as a smaller child, I was probably one of the most loving, caring, I want to check on you person ever. And I still felt those things. But they were buried by pain. I want to show up for this person, but they might hurt me. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to protect myself. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times trauma and pain can do that. It puts you in this capsule of, I got to protect me. Mm-hmm. As if everyone else doesn't deserve a safe space. Mm-hmm. So I was already leery about marriage. I already felt like marriage was not safe. So that coupled with my own personal internal trauma from my route, it just was amplified in the beginning years of our relationship. So I showed up as a nagger. I showed up as, I'm about to call you out on every little thing you doing because you better fix it or I'm not staying. You know, like
flying in the beginning.
Yeah. But he also had his route. And I think what you said is so vitally important. I was so fixated on my own pain and my own trauma that I didn't even acknowledge that you had a story, that you had a route, that you had been through things. So it was really very selfish of me in the inception of our relationship because my fixation was me.
Yeah.
So it's like, I made a vow to this man. I got in covenant with this man, but I had no clue how to acknowledge him and what he had gone through, what he was presently going through, what he was trying to work and overcome. It was like, well, I mean, do you see me?
That's good.
Do you know my story? Do you know what I went through? Like it was all of those things.
And when you are in, and you know this, when you're in an active bleed, the emergency and the attention must go to the active bleed on the inside. And I think that we got married so young, so fast, so abruptly.
Yes.
It's another episode.
Yes.
We were both bleeding and we started to bleed on one another.
Yes.
And it frees. Please hear this. This 19-year wisdom. It froze our progress. So although we've been together 19 years, we have not been building 19 years.
Yeah.
Message. Although we've been together 19 years, we have not been building 19 years.
Yeah.
The first 5, 6, 7, 8, we was tearing shit up. We were destroying while making love,
and having kids.
All right, that's what so we didn't, and we assessed this a couple of episodes ago, when the light bulb clicked on that I've got some stuff I need to work on. Yeah. Whether they tie you up and put you in the back of a Chevy, box Chevy. I'm still gonna have to. I'm still gonna be back in the box Chevy.
Yeah. That's before trucks had a pull tab to let you out. He just really likes it.
I'm still gonna have to deal with me.
Yeah.
If they tie me up, they tie you up and drag you out of here, you're still going to have to deal with you. And I think that we get so fixated on this other person is my problem. This other person is my headache. This other person doesn't get me. This other person doesn't understand me. And forgetting that you are everywhere you go.
That part, that's a message.
So
what's, but okay, let me say this.
Yeah.
The only thing that I will disagree with is I really believe that we were building from day one. I'm going to tell you why.
All right. Yes.
In order to build certain buildings, you have to dig up enough of the foundation so that it can withstand and hold what is going to be built on it.
It just turned into a press
conference.
So
I say that because we both had things that we needed to abandon. We both had things that we needed to destroy. We both had things that we were idolizing that needed to be torn down if this relationship was going to ever work. And so, although, you know, to the naked eye, it looked like, okay, we just arguing and we fighting and we... It was those arguments that were challenging the systems that were at work in me that were no longer serving me. And I would venture to say it was those same arguments that were challenging things on the inside of you that made you be like, okay, well, why am I doing this? Okay, why do I feel this way? Why is it so intense? So to me, the beauty of what we have been able to create is that instead of charging you with that forever, instead of you charging me with that forever, we chose to take them as lessons. We chose to say, you know what? I can see that from your perspective. And although it did cause me some discomfort, although it did cause me some pain, I really feel like I'm better now because of it, because it drove me to find out answers that I needed to find out about myself so that I can become a better version of me.
Living better now. Gucci sweater now.
Oh God. Here he goes.
Okay. Here goes one we both can agree on. We were excavating.
Yes.
I'm not going to agree to build. I'm going to build excavating.
You can't build until you tear up that ground.
You got to excavate. So we were excavating. Is it excavating? Excavating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were digging up the ground.
And we was finding stuff that was under there.
Oh, yeah. We was finding bones and graveyards.
Boom.
Records.
Boom. Old love letters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so, y'all, I got to tell y'all that one day.
No, you do not.
When I found a box of love letters from his exes, I went through the
room. And
I threw it all away. It was an argument.
All right, that's enough. So let's recap. What's the takeaway? One, homework. You're watching this. Marcus, don't let me forget. I'll send an attachment style quiz. We will attach it to
I am
this
anxious,
video.
secure. Do you remember what you are?
Avoidant, secure.
Mm-hmm.
Avoidant, secure.
Mm-hmm. When you take the test, it'll make sense.
Your attachment style will take you back to your childhood.
Ooh, yes,
all of us. We were in a class with some couples that amazing marriage group with couples, and every time I hear couples talk, the first thing that comes to my mind is what's their attachment style. I don't want to assume, but I'm listening, and how we show up in our adulthood.
Yeah.
The clingy one, the one that is avoidant, the one that should. It all goes back to what we did or did not receive in those formative years.
Do you hear me?
I'm a titty baby.
Yeah. I was a titty baby too, but I just went through a lot of trauma while I was in my mama's stomach when I first came out.
I can't hear no him. I got that.
Okay. You just took a left-hand turn.
I thought you knew where I was going. Yeah, Doc. And some things don't change. Yeah, 4 attachment styles.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's anxious, secure. There's anxious, insecure. There's avoidant, secure, and then avoidant, insecure.
So find out if you're watching this, if you're single, if you're not married, if you've got a partner, a fiance, a husband, a wife, a husband. Mm-hmm. If you already know this, then just shout in the comments, done it. I already know what mine is. Put in the chat what your attachment style is. But if you haven't, if you've never heard of it, if you've heard of it, but are unsure what yours is, and if you've taken it years ago, take it again. Your attachment style may have changed. It may have evolved.
You can go from being like anxious, insecure to anxious, secure. There you go. But there's a workbook that goes with it as well that was really, really good.
We suggested.
Yes.
So your route.
My route.
Because we've been together. And listen, here it goes. Marcus.
Oh, and you know what else? I thought about this when you was talking earlier. What? Not only do we have a route prior to marriage, we have several routes that we take within the marriage. And we got to know those as well.
So just because something has been in existence for a long time, does it mean that it's healthy? Does it mean that those people who are in that thing that have been in existence for a long time want to be there?
Okay.
If you
lie to yourself, you're going to lie to the relationship.
So if I'm with you because of ego,
right?
I might stay knowing that I don't want to be with you. I just can't see myself being without you. If I get a need.
Or can we say, I can't see myself being alone? Because I don't even think that it's without you.
Just alone. Okay.
I don't want to be alone.
Ooh, about to be starting something. About to be starting something. So this is good. Your route. Everybody has a story. This is why I love documentaries. I love biographies, autobiographies, because you don't know what made Michael Jackson until you know what happened to young Mike. Michael Jackson didn't fall off of a watermelon truck one day and become the star that he was. Something happened on his route that developed him into what we knew at the end as the great Michael Jackson. So it is for your route. My route,
absolutely,
y'all's route. There is something that happened to you, and we cannot act like where we've been,
positive and negative.
Positive and negative. What we've done, where we've been, has no bearing on how we show up now.
That's right.
It's still there.
All things work together.
All right. It's still there. It's still talking. it's still communicating. Mm-hmm. You owe yourself, you owe it to yourself. Ooh,
okay.
Don't lie. Okay. You owe it to yourself.
He from Kansas, y'all.
To investigate what that is, mm-hmm. why that is, so that you can articulate it. I can't charge you for something that I haven't articulated mm-hmm. that I need.
Yeah. Nor can you be free if you're not willing to acknowledge.
I want to just bite this mic. Say it again.
You can't be free from a thing if you haven't acknowledged that it even exists. So if there is trauma at work on the inside of you and you refuse to acknowledge it, then you're already bound. And you being bound is going to have the relationship bound because you were part of the relationship.
Okay, here it is in our close. Here it is for 5 praisers. And I can't expect you to heal it.
Ooh.
There is nothing.
Nor is it my responsibility to heal the trauma that you came into the relationship with. Now, I can love you. I can be gracious with you. I can give you empathy while you work through it. But it is not my responsibility, nor is it my job to heal you.
Now, this is for the young couples.
I am not your creator.
Now, this is for the young couples. Young couples. Our old school OGs have been in the game. Wide receiver numbers. Y'all already know this. But the young couples. Let's help the young.
For all of the couples. In the couples. Because it's even some older couples that still live in a lie. He trying to be nice. I'm gonna just go on take bad cop today. Just put it on me. It's all right. Yeah, I'll take it.
I got a badge in my prop box.
You really do. Crazy man.
There is nothing mm-hmm. that you can do to heal my trauma.
That's right.
You got your own. You can't get inside my body and we rewire my brain. You know what I'm talking about? Like I'm a ghost.
Get in my body.
You can't. You can't do it. You can sex me, cook for me, mm-hmm. bend it over, swing from the chandeliers, give me your check. Mm-hmm. Daddy, do you need whatever? And if I don't make the decision to go within,
that's right,
and sit with the professional, mm-hmm. let them walk me through mm-hmm. and address and work through the things that have happened to me.
That's right.
You will be a good wife that has been damaged by a nigga who did not do his own internal work to be healed from whatever happened to him. That's right. How this goes. And so good people get with people who don't want to do the work and come to a conclusion at some point in time. I'm not dealing with the bullshit no more. It happens every day. Yeah. When someone does not want to do their work.
Come on and say that.
I'm on a time clock. And depending on their tolerance, depending on how they love that individual, depending on the situation, that clock could be 5 years or 5 minutes.
Come on.
And there's no one when a woman's fed up, Kelly said, your clock is right at least twice a day. When a woman's fed up, ain't nothing you can do about it. When somebody has, okay, I got to tell you this, we got to stop. When somebody has come to the end of that rope and you coming down, they come to the end of that rope, ain't nothing you can do. When somebody has had enough of the bullshit, there's no prayer you can pray. There's no decree that you can decree.
Come on.
There's no offering you can give. When somebody has said, okay, here goes my last point. You remember. So I was at our table today with my laptop. I was making some notes. Mm-hmm. And she put the dog in my lap. Mm-hmm. And I said, don't put the dog in my lap. I'm getting ready to go to the gym. She said, you still making that Facebook status. You ain't going nowhere. You at least going to be there 15 minutes. She turned her back to get something out of the kitchen. I set the dog down. And when she turned around, I came out of the closet fully dressed with pre-workout in my hand. She said, how in the hell did you get dressed so fast? This was my answer. And this thing hit me like a ton of bricks on a Wednesday night.
No, I
said, when I make a decision to do something, mm-hmm. I've already thought it through. Mm-hmm. I'm the type of cat, I'm not going to tell you this is going to be good. Mm-hmm. If you don't stop, I'm going to do this as a threat to get you to change your behavior. That's not why some people say now there are some people that say if you don't stop, they're trying to get you to behavior modify.
They're trying to give you a level of grace. For him, when he decides, he has decided, okay?
I have decided about when there are certain people, me included, I'll be the leader tonight. that when they say, if you don't stop, they have already envisioned what life is going to be like without you.
Absolutely.
If I have to say, if we're in a relationship and I got to say, if you don't stop harming me, I've already assessed the damage to know what I've got to do if I've got to walk away. Because I'm not going to say it out of my mouth if I'm not ready to stand on business, because I don't bluff.
Can you say that one more time? You need all the mics. You need all the mics.
Press conference.
You need all the mics.
What part you want me to start at? Oh, I know, G. And this is me, but this is also some personality types. Now, this is based on here. My mics are ready. This is based on my attachment style. I have a switch inside of me that I believe God allowed it to stay, that was developed and created when my biological father stopped answering the phone for me. That because all things work together for the good, I got a switch inside of me that can turn off the toleration of bullshit at any point in time, no matter who you are, whether it was a 20-year relationship, 5-year relationship, there is a switch that God has left inside of me for God's glory. That if any time I'm in a situation that I have been in for a long time or a short time, that I need to unhook from the bullshit, I have no problem.
Mic drop.
I have no problem. Pets, husband, wife, overseer, pastor, job. Once I determine that I need to tell you, if you don't stop harming me, I'm going to leave. I've already counted up the cost. I already know what it's going to be like without you. I've already rehearsed it so that, here's the last point for 5 praises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 nights. All I need is 5 nights. That if you don't stop the harm, I've already made the decision. I already know what it's going to feel like. So there are certain people that don't bluff. There are certain people that say, if you don't stop, because they really want you to change, because they don't want it. Don't make me do it. No. For my personality, for my attachment style, if I got the courage to tell you I'm going to leave if you don't, I'm very prepared.
Mic drop.
I'm very prepared.
And for the loyalists and the lovers in the room, because that represents me.
All right.
If you are with somebody that makes you question loving when love comes easy for you, and you say, you know what? I'm not putting up with it anymore. That's exactly what they mean.
Say it more. Say it slow. Say it again. Say it slow.
I said, for all of the lovers and the loyalists that are in the room, when you get to a place where loving is no longer easy and it normally flows like water, and you like, I'm not myself no more. I can't keep doing this. Please know the end is upon you. I think that, like, for me, because I'm a lover and a loyalist, I'm definitely willing to extend grace multiple times. I might cry, throw a fit, all the things, but I'm still going to try to be gracious enough to extend another opportunity for somebody to change. However, we all have an end. We all have a place where we're like, okay, enough is enough. And I think that that's what you were speaking to when you said, for some people it may be 5 minutes, for some people it may be 5 years. So because I personally don't like the way rejection feels, I personally don't like feeling like somebody is just giving up on me. It makes me more gracious to people. It makes me almost loyal to a fault sometimes. And I remember when we hit a little spell where I was like, okay, I need a 2-bedroom apartment and it's going to cost this and I need this.
He's about to dip on you, boy.
No, but okay. So I thought about all of those things, but I also sat down and had a conversation with you. And I said, okay, when I did inventory on what I need to step up out of here, I know I can do it. However, God challenged me and said, but have you done everything that you know that you should be doing?
Come on, balance us tonight.
So, cause I had a laundry list of things that I wanted him to do, that I wanted him to fix, that I wanted him to create, but I hadn't taken the time to turn that mirror towards me to look at, okay, well, what's going on with you? Like, what are you adding to the relationship that is helping it stay toxic, that is helping it stay chaotic? And so because I am a lover, I was like, okay, well, wait. I can't be absolute with him, and I ain't been absolute with myself. But what I did is we sat down at dinner,
conversation,
and I looked at him square in his eyes and said,
"You don't stop.
I know that I have not done everything that I am supposed to do as a wife, but please hear me. When I have done those things, if you still have not chosen to change, I will leave you.
What was you standing
on?
And
I will not come back.
What was you standing on?
Business.
Business.
Because for me, I'm the type of person, I don't want to keep redoing stuff. And so I didn't want to leave and then have to come back.
All right. I had it in the notes.
Yeah. Because baby, when I am gone.
All right. Come on. Don't double back.
I am gone.
We'll return to you, Mama.
What really helped to restrain me in that season was we have children together. So I am almost honest to a fault with my kids. I've said some things that probably have like blown their socks off, but I also wasn't going to lie to them and make them think that it was all their father. And so I wanted to be able to say with a clear conscience, we were both crazy. But then I made a conscious decision to give him what he told me he needed, and he refused to change. But I think that you just needed to hear me say that.
Come on now.
Because, as I was changing and he was seeing me change and evolve, he began to change and evolve. And here we are. Almost 19 years in.
Almost 19 years in the game. So I was on BS.
I was too.
She was on BS one point.
And we were on BS together during some of those.
So we had to do our own work to get flushed the shit.
Yeah.
BB King decreed and declared the thrill is gone. Once you indicate that the thrill is gone, do an internal self-check first. We always go back to and we always land on you understanding you controlling you, you assessing you. Primarily, because you cannot do anything about the other person.
You can't change anybody but yourself.
So we are advocates to prayer.
Yes.
We promote prayer.
Yes.
We promote community.
Yes.
Our friend circle, our community
therapy
has and will forever be our
absolutely
therapy.
Yes.
And if you have been prescribed meds, holistic, the holistic approach, come on.
Take your vitamins.
Holistic.
And if the vitamins ain't doing, please go see a professional and get a pill.
Go see a professional. Yes. We'll have them take you out in the woods and ground up some of that God's natural stuff, something.
Ground yourself. Go outside. Put your bare feet in some grass. Whatever you need to do to regulate yourself.
So let me say this. We're done. I'm closing my stuff up. Marcus, we're done. This is 5, 4, 3, 2. I was at work the other day and this lady came in for an appointment and she had made a minor error on the first page of her form. When she walked up to the counter, I could feel her anxiety. She's with her family and she's the planner of the family. So she was already carrying anxiety of, I hope I did this right. She makes this minor error and she says, what about this error I made? I said, there's no problem. I see it all the time. The application won't be denied. You're good. She asked me about this error two more times. And I said to her, I said, Grace. Her name wasn't Grace. I'm saying the grace of God. I said, Grace. Tell me what's going to help you sleep tonight. She said, what? I said, whatever's going to help. If you want to do the whole thing over again, you don't have to. But if you decide to, I want you to sleep tonight. If you're worried about this application being denied because of this error, and I'm telling you, it ain't going to be denied. If doing the whole thing and over again will help you rest tonight, do that. I said, so what's your choice? She said, let me give me another one. I said, so I said that to your point, whatever helps you sleep at night.
Yeah. Whatever brings you peace.
Whatever brings you peace. Now we can go King James on you. Follow peace. What you say? Well, anyway, whatever brings you resolve.
That's right.
On the inside.
Yes.
And sometimes that's staying.
And sometimes that's gone.
Sometimes that's gone. But I'm going to tell you this.
Both of them going to cost you.
Wait, hold on. Don't you do it.
Staying alive.
Wait a minute.
Or setting yourself free. Both of them going to cost you.
Now listen. You got me stirred.
Both of them going to cost.
We get ready to say marriages for golfers. We're going to cut the video out.
You better count up the cost. Count up the cost.
God.
Yes.
on the inside of you.
Come on.
Even if your family history says you should always stay, even if your family history says you should always fight for it, you should always leave. To each his own. But this is what I do know. I'm telling you something that I've lived. Even if you are a loyalist and it's time to go, God on the inside of you will tell you what you need to do.
And show you what you need to see.
Whether it's go or whether it's stay.
Come on.
Whether it's assess yourself. You ain't got to worry about it. God gonna lead you. God gonna lead you and guide you into what?
All truth, if you allow him.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done. I'm completely.
Follow peace, y'all. Follow peace.
This is grown folk talk. This is what we call the platform marriages for grown folks, because this ain't for kids. This is NC-17. You gotta have a driver's license to talk. You got to have a pay stub.
You got to be willing to work.
All right. Put that work in.
Yeah,
so we say it at the end of every episode that marriage
is for grown folks.
This is grown folks.
That's right.